Ladies and gentlemen, all rise. Season 5 of The Spotlight continues right now. This week on The Spotlight, it's the July 4th Independence Day celebration on The Spotlight, and the co-hosts are throwing a 4th of July holiday party to celebrate America's 246th birthday. B.A.L.L.E.R Brown shares how she is best at learning, living, and earning riches, and how her passions working with the youth, uplifting and empowering others, and helping others to understand value and worth. Plus, Vina Love is here to take this spotlight party to a whole new level, and we are flashing back 5 years ago to her first appearance and performance on The Spotlight. Also,
Hey, Miss McGuire.
Matt Nation is here to perform and talks about his debut EP, Undeniably Dope, in his first ever TV interview. And Jacob Sanchez, Linnetta Batts, and multimedia host Via Rutkowski are all guest co-hosting for the 4th of July Spotlight Holiday Party. Now, let's get it on and get this Spotlight Party started.
Whoa! Well, hello, and welcome to the Spotlight. Welcome to the Spotlight. Welcome to the Spotlight, y'all. Here, you know, we walk down to John Philip Sousa's The Stars and Stripes to honor America's 246th birthday. This 4th of July holiday, we are celebrating America's Independence Day 2 days after the holiday, or a few days before the holiday, since this year it's falling on a Monday. Here, I do want to take a moment to welcome our guest co-host joining us on this holiday celebration. We're always glad to have Via Rutkowski back with us.
Thank you.
Also joining us is Jacob Sanchez, guest co-host, and Linnetta Batts, also joining us today as guest co-host here. While Crystal is still out and obtaining her master's, we hope to see her again soon here, you know. So, a little bit about the holiday itself. It commemorates the adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776, where the Continental Congress declared that the 13 American original colonies regarded themselves as the new nation as we now know and call it the United States of America. They were no longer part of the British Empire. The Congress actually voted to declare Independence Day 2 days earlier on July 2nd. So that brings to the question, what does celebrating the 4th of July mean to you, and what are your traditions that you do on July 4th?
It's been a while since there's been a normal 4th of July, I feel like.
And it's been a while since we've done our 4th of July show before COVID, you know. It's been a long time.
It's been a minute.
Yes.
I feel like it's always a really good day to spend with family. Always a good day to relax since there is no work. And then, of course, reflecting on the true meaning. But I feel like over the years, it's changed a lot. And the gatherings have obviously gotten smaller, and it's a little different.
It has
It's a little bit different now.
Yes, most definitely. Usually, traditions my family and I have are like, we usually go to the pool, barbecue, at night go watch the fireworks. But, you know, since COVID has happened, it's been like a drastic change. Like, most of the fireworks are being virtualized now. It's not really in person.
Right.
So, you know, a lot has changed, but, you know, we make the best of it.
Yeah, what do you usually do the fireworks? Because Macy's does their annual 4th of July fireworks every year on the East River by like the Pier or Brooklyn Bridge Park, or, you know, or sometimes Coney Island.
Right. Normally, I remember like in Jersey specifically, like we would have like this football field that would be filled with kids and families, and like you just see them setting up all day for that, and you know, it would be a wonderful show just to see everybody.
Yes.
And with me, like I live in Coney Island, so I get to, you know, see the fireworks and everything, and I'm a very family-oriented person, so I definitely be like with a lot of my family and friends, and yeah, we do the same thing, just do like a lot of cookouts, barbecues, and pretty much.
Gee, I wish our co-host Crystal was here, because she's a Coney Island girl as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, well, with me, obviously, I don't usually do Coney Island fireworks, but whatever on 4th of July, even though I would want to this year, it would be something different for me because I've been always looking at the fireworks along the East River, like when you head downtown Brooklyn here by the Brooklyn Bridge Park here, and it's like those fireworks are so amazing. It's like Saturn pops out in the air. The food I remember getting last time was just Ritz crackers, and well, it was just a snack of my own because that was all I had here. But it was a great experience, you know, because you know the thing we got to know is that celebrating America's Independence Day is considered American history, which many folks don't seem to understand because sometimes people criticize that. Sometimes I don't know why though, but it's a time for gathering with family and friends to celebrate the holiday, basically, you know. So, but you know, last 4th of July 2021, thousands of people celebrated the holiday compared to 2020, where I guess you could say it was canceled because COVID hit us and Barbara Walters put a curse on us with her 2020 magical powers. But as NPR puts it, quote unquote, consider where we were 1 year ago. The last time July 4th arrived, it was hard to find much to celebrate. Much of the nation's urban population was in varying degrees of lockdown. The number of newly reported cases spiked to a new daily record in the week before the holiday. People were dying by the hundreds every day. Soon it would be thousands, reaching a peak of more than 4,000 early in January, and unquote. This is an NPR article I'm referencing to that from last year. So I'm wondering, what do you think could happen this year for the 4th of July holiday 2022?
That's a good question. I feel that the country alone had a great economic loss with everything shutting down in 2020. So therefore, I don't think that they will allow that to happen again. So I'm pretty sure they're going to find ways to have safe protocol in which everyone can still gather and have everything going on, but just in a safely manner.
Yeah, a lot of stuff seems to be outside too, which definitely has proven to be helpful in comparison to being crammed into a small space. So that makes me feel a little more hopeful.
And I feel like COVID is kind of slowing down now, so a lot of people is more outside. A lot of people is being in like the area, so I feel like it's gonna be okay. If it's gonna be hot, a lot of people is gonna be outside.
So we could sense like some normalcy coming back for this 4th of July if we agree. Because
I hope so.
I hope so too. Because listen, I kind of miss my traditions, even when I was a kid, going to my great aunt's house, watching the fireworks from the balcony, or like what they call it, the terrace. And it's like basically you got the good view, Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, everything, Lower Manhattan. I kind of still miss it to this day. I don't know if I'll ever get an encore of that soon, because otherwise I just got to keep fighting for a good view at the promenade downtown Brooklyn. And
it will come. It will be back.
It will definitely come.
If the fireworks come, we will build it, and we'll be right back as well, okay?
Still to come, social networking. Why some experts think that friending, adding, or following coworkers on social media is either an okay thing to do or not the best solution. Do the youth co-hosts find this to be true or false?
Hi, America. I'm here today to teach you about wood chipper safety. For example, just look at what these machines can do to something as durable as this IRS hard drive. Whoops. Amazing. Stay safe out there, and happy 4th of July from your dear old Uncle Sam.
Still ahead, Baller Brown shares with the youth co-hosts how she helps out working with the youth to be uplifted and empowered. Plus, Vina Love is here to take this spotlight party to a whole new level, and we are flashing back 5 years ago to her first appearance and performance on the Spotlight. And Matt Nation talks about his debut EP Undeniably Dope in his first ever TV interview and is performing a mashup that'll uplift the vibes.
So welcome back. Before we go any further, I just want to bring up something because we had confirmed of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. I just want to read a nice, memorable letter that I found really heartwarming, and it would be considered something like American history, where Senator Raphael Warnock here wrote a letter to Chloe, and allow me to read this letter to you. Dear Chloe, today we confirm Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court in our nation's history. She is the first Supreme Court justice who looks like you, who has hair like yours. While we are voting on the floor of the Senate, a friend of mine, the Vice President of the United States, handed me this piece of paper and suggested I write a note to someone who comes to mind. By the way, she is the first Vice President who also looks like you. So I write this note to say to you to say you can be anything, achieve anything your head and heart to do. Love you, Dad.
Aww.
Yeah, it's like really something. This is the type of things that we really not. And obviously this came after when Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson was confirmed to the Senate. So I just thought I'd share with that with you.
Aw, thank you for sharing that. It
Yeah.
makes my eyes well up a little bit.
A little 4th of July happiness coming there, but but also happiness, but something I guess weird here, but for coworkers, it's not uncommon to add, follow, or friend someone on social media, whether you work in a creative industry or any other workplace, no matter the work environment. However, a survey of over half are concerned that their social media profiles will be used against them by their work. And nearly 1 in 5 have already experienced it, while 16% say the content used has been used against them in a job interviews. So, what do you think? And do you think this okay to add, follow, or friend your boss or coworker in any sort of event? And does anyone relate to this?
Ooh, luckily no, but I'm
Listen, don't even
surprised.
ask me because I'm out of this. Okay.
I'm shocked by that stat. That's like a little more than I thought it was gonna be, but you obviously have to be really careful. I mean, I think in the reality of life, you become friends with your coworkers or maybe even your boss, and you add each other, you follow each other on Instagram, and you're tagging each other, but you just have to be mindful. So I guess I think it's okay, but you better audit what you got going on and don't post anything that you wouldn't say to them or show them, because that can get messy. I can't believe people are bringing that up in a job interview, or just make it private. Just make it private before your interview, I guess.
Yes.
Yikes.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like because a lot of jobs that I do have a lot of my coworkers and managers. So it's like at that time, you definitely do have to remain professional and just not post anything too crazy. So they'll be looking like, this ain't the person that we seen at work, So yeah, they just make you professional.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like the good thing is that nowadays in Instagram they have close friends, so you can edit who sees what. Because at the end of the day, it is great to develop a friendship with a boss or coworker. But at the end of the day, it is a job, it is a business. So like you said, don't post anything that you wouldn't want to be portrayed as, because it can get messy.
Yeah, that's wild. Definitely close friends and the blocking on the story.
Yeah, that's definitely better.
Thank God for stuff like that. Thank God. David?
He's looking like, I don't do that stuff. I don't know about y'all, but
luckily, you don't have to worry about this.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Less stress in your life for it. Or for not, I should say.
Yeah, but has anyone ever experienced that in their lifetime where if a bad situation occurred and then you got blocked by a coworker in that way?
I blocked the coworker, but they ain't blocked.
I personally, I didn't get blocked, but I think that they saw me, it was a nightlife event. So they probably saw me like, damn, he's a party animal. But I'm like, I'm not. It was just this one time I'm going out, but looks can be, deceiving for sure.
Yeah. He's looking like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We've always thought of great athletes as the strongest, the fittest, chiseled to perfection. But what's a strong body without a sound mind? We're so focused on strength that we forget to strengthen our focus. The mind is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. And while the greats mastered the body, the greatest mastered the mind.
Please welcome the one and only Kimmy. I just want to say, you're scaring me, Kimmy, all right?
I'm sorry.
That's a
personality. I'm excited.
I know that's your personality, but you almost injured me, okay? I have to keep my eye on you.
If Baller Brown is best at living, learning, and earning riches, and best at uplifting and empowering the youth, the question is, how does she do it with so much passion? The answer to that question is coming up that will have you inspired when Baller Brown shares with the youth co-hosts. Next on The Spotlight.
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of it.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals 25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
While she's best at learning, living, and earning riches, Baller Brown's passions working with the youth is to uplift, empower, and engage them, as well as be inspired to take action and help others understand their value and worth. Even as a musical artist, her power stands in her truth throughout life. We're very thrilled to have her on to talk about her experience in engaging the youth. So please welcome to the spotlight, Baller Brown.
You see how amazing?
Big intro.
You see how amazing this show gets every time here.
I just want to say I'm honored and it's a privilege to be here, so thank you. Whoopi, right?
I don't know. Tom Bergeron.
Tom Bergeron from
Yeah. Just call me any name you want except the BITC. Right. All right. But listen, yes, it's an honor to have you on. But listen, because you're considered not only a musician, but you're more of someone who likes to give back to the youth here. So I want to know here, because based on what we've been reading, it's like when you're trying to uplift the youth, what is it that got you inspired into like helping uplift and engage the youth to what's happening and everything else?
Well, pretty much like my first real job was with the B.A.L.L.E.R. And that was when I was like 15, 16. And before that, I had a job at Foot Locker, but I kind of got fake fired. And it's so funny because I like sneakers, but I didn't like working there.
Yeah.
So anyway, my next job was with the B.A.L.L.E.R. And I started working in a play. It was something called the Play Street. You kind of block off the street. I don't know if they still do it. And you bring out games and activities for the young people during the day. It's free for the community. So I started out in working in the Play Street, and then I started working with the young people, and I saw how they was responding to me, and I was like, wow, like this is kind of amazing. And then also a part of it was also like kind of being for a young person what I didn't have myself. Like it was like when I was young, I just felt I wasn't gonna say I was alone, but you know, sometimes when you're coming up, you're feeling a certain way, so you feel alone, going through certain experiences by yourself. So I didn't feel like I had like that older person that I could really confide in, who you know, at the time. So I just kind of wanted to be that person for young people that they can connect with naturally, and and helping. Also, like, I learned a lot of things on my own, so I try to share the knowledge with the young person so they absorb it at an earlier age, so they can maybe get it together or get it, you know, right at a faster pace.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
It does.
Yes. Go ahead, if anyone you have got a question, go ahead.
Yes.
I'm resting my voice.
So you were born and raised on University Ave in the Bronx, which is right around the corner from the birthplace of hip hop.
That's a fact. That is correct.
Do you have like some early childhood memories or moments where that really started to sink in and inspire you?
Absolutely.
To kind of, you know, start working on that, aside from all the other work that you're doing?
Well, I'm working on my artistry, as in my hip hop music?
Yes, your music.
Yeah, and engaging the youth as well.
Okay, absolutely. So, me as a young, absolutely, because just coming up, I actually was born in Manhattan, but I was raised on University.
Got it.
Okay.
But it was like literally down the block from Cedric Ave, where hip hop was born. But the hip hop culture always influenced me since a young age.
Yeah.
It's like since I was a very young person myself, and then I grew up, like, I was born in the 80s, so I grew up in like the early 90s and stuff like that. So it was such an era of originality and culture, and it was like the way they celebrated it was like very genuine and authentic. And with that being said, transitioning to the youth, that's why I feel like it's very, very important to be authentic, my authentic self when I'm working with the young people, because young people can always see right through you. And if you are kind of putting up a front or you being something that you're not, they'll really will call it out.
Right.
So just working over time, I just learned certain things with youth development and just learning how to connect with young people and engage them and speak to them in a way where they feel comfortable opening up and they can confide in me. And also, when a young person confides in you, or with anybody for that matter, to me, I honor and I value that because they don't have to share that with you. So the fact that they feel comfortable enough to share that with you, I think that's very, to me, that makes me feel like, wow, special. So I have to honor and value what they're sharing with me in confidence, or unless they, you know, something depending on the situation as well, but always in confidence and confidentiality, rather, and just and helping a young person see that someone is listening to them.
Right.
Do you have someone there to help you? I can connect you to some resources if you want, because that's also very important. And just, you know, and just helping them understand that, you are loved. It's like believing yourself, love yourself, trust yourself. Things that I wish kind of people would have told me at a younger age.
Right.
But I had to get it like, but it's okay. So now I just give that back. So and make sure I let them hear it and reinforce it. I was talking to a young person today, not even more of a colleague.
Yeah.
But she's younger than me, and she was going through an experience, and I was like, everything happens for a reason. Just trust yourself. Understand that you're on for greater and bigger things. So try not to dwell on the situation.
Right. Your experience is a gift to them by being able to teach them these things.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's why it kind of goes back to my name, my artist name of B.A.L.L.E.R. because it's best that learn to live and earn the riches, because you have to live and learn, earn the best in life. So it kind of translates to both things, because besides music, young people, working with young people is my other passion.
Exactly.
So
that's beautiful, to be honest. Like, just knowing, like, young children often, they feel, like you say, they don't feel like they are heard or represented. So to just be a form and shape, just to give them, like, I am in your corner and you are seen, I think it's very beautiful, because just how you help them, later on in life, they can keep that on and transcend it to other generations and other kids.
That's right.
So much respect to you for that. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate it. And when they get older and they remember you, they remember how you impacted them, you could potentially like really change their lives in some type of way. So I really, I stay connected with a lot of young people that I work with throughout the years, and it's amazing to see them grow into the young people they become, the men, and have their own families, and I'm like, yo, wow.
I had an influence in that. Like, that's something very big.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yes. So it's basically, what is the message? Even speaking of, this is our 4th of July holiday theme here that we're doing here. So is there a message that you're trying to like give out to the youth that's watching our show right now that people should learn, just in general, basically, when going forward in the future?
I mean, I would just say the message, that I would say is kind of like what we already kind of mentioned. Like, it's really, really just important to believe in yourself. And even as a young, I also wanted to mention this, right? So a lot of young people fueled so many powerful movements throughout history. Like even the Black Panthers, people don't really understand what the Black Panthers, those was teenagers, 16, 17, 18-year-olds creating and kind of at the forefront of that movement. So if you do your research, you know, when I learned that, I was like, wow, young people, and a lot of other movements. So it's very, very powerful. So when you believe in yourself and you really, it's also important to love and honor yourself, easier said than done. But just believe in yourself, trust yourself. That's also easier said than done. But when you really get to that place where you can and you understand things for yourself and who you are, you'll become a force in this world that nobody can reckon with. And you can really just do what you want, whatever you put your mind to, whatever you want to do. And I think that's very important. You throw it up for the X.
Wakanda forever.
That's right, I know that's right. And for the Bronx.
Listen, when you mentioned Black Panther, I had to do this with the Black Panther, as they always do in that film.
That's a powerful movie in so many ways. It's very powerful.
And is it true that you bought something that you wanted to share with us?
I kind of wanted to share, but you know, it's cool. It's cool. I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah. So actually,
we got a couple minutes.
I'll share the information, and if what we do, I'll give you my email address if you want to get in contact with me. But the organization that I'm connected to, they offer a lot of variety of different trainings, and there's actually recruitment. So all right. So in my professional career, I work with young people, and and I work around recruitment and outreach. So we do a lot of free training in security, the healthcare field, like certified medical administrative assistant, CNA, farm tech. We got a culinary arts program, a lot of different array of services, and it's all free. It's absolutely free. So if you know anybody that's interested, and you get a statewide certification, and then we place you on an internship, or depending on the program, we hook you with employment. And we do employment services as well. So I'll leave my email address, and anybody that's interested, you know, definitely reach out, because it's about sharing resources and helping people. When I heard free, I was like, damn. Free or training for free. Like they have a program next week that they're teaching Google Suites. And if you go from like 9 to 1 for like 3 days, you get a damn Google Chromebook. I said, if I'm free, you get it for free. I said, can I sign up for the class?
Wow, that's life-changing for people.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes you never have the opportunity to get to that point.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll leave it like that. So get in contact with me if you're interested.
Yes.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. Baller, I wish we had more time with you.
Too.
You know, but time just goes so quick. But please, come back anytime. We appreciate having you on. Our special thanks to Baller Brown for everything in this segment, even that was mentioned and everything else here. And we'll be right back, y'all.
Vina Love is here to take this spotlight party to a whole new level. And we are flashing back 5 years ago to her first appearance and performance on the Spotlight. Next.
A brain aneurysm can strike you when you least expect it, plunging your entire world into darkness. But if you know the warning signs, you're much more likely to survive. If you suddenly experience the worst headache of your life or sharp, sudden pain behind your eyes, do not ignore it. Please seek immediate emergency attention. It's time to shed some light on brain aneurysms. You gotta know the information.
The Lisa Calagrassi Foundation, lisafoundation.org.
Give me your mind, collect all the thoughts in your head. Give me your heart, protect you from thoughts in your head. Feel it in the dark, I can feel you from afar. For you, in your eyes I see the stars. I've been looking for you. I can feel it in the air. One puff, I'm blown away. I can feel it in the air. One puff, I'm blown away.
Yeah, Liberty Bibbity. That clip you saw was when we had pop singer Vina Love on the show 5 years ago in 2017, and we still can feel the spirit this high in the air and it gives us great pleasure to have her back on after 5 years. There's really nothing else more to say except please welcome back to the spotlight the lovely and talented Vina.
Hello, my darling.
How are you?
So good to see you.
It's so good to see you again. It's been 5 years,
Yes.
you know? It's like, looking back to that clip here, it's like, so much has changed over those 5 years here. So, I mean, that brings to the question, between those 5 years when you've been doing music, I know you've been a busy person, I'll tell you that for sure, but how has music affected you when COVID hit here?
Oh, wow. It was really hard. I mean, some musicians had it good because they were home all day making music and just, they know how to engineer and things like that. For me, I spent a lot of time like trying to figure out what am I gonna do next? Like biting my nails, like what is next? What am I gonna do?
Listen, you don't want to mess up your nails right there.
You're not like performing like you usually are. You're not in the studio like you usually are. So it was pretty tough, but I made my way.
And that's how we felt during that time because we didn't do that much shows when COVID hit us, because but even though this is our 5th year on television, I can't believe it. 5 years.
Beautiful thing, David. Wonderful for you.
Yeah, it's not only a beautiful thing. I told someone backstage to leave my time machine alone here, but they refused to listen. But anyway, but you've done a lot here where you've produced like many singles, like you were featured on Uptown with Grammy-winning hip-hop icon Kid Capri, who's I believe your father, as you mentioned. So like you had like, what was like just doing the working with Kid Capri and working on this work with
It's
Uptown?
actually very simple. I think everyone thinks we were like in the studio together, like jamming. And no, like he was in his own session. His part of the song was already done. And I was in my own session, like in Brooklyn somewhere. And he sent it to me and was like, this is the last song on the album. I need you to do this. And I need it tonight. Like I need it right now. So I stopped what I was doing. I did the verse. I sent it to him and he loved it. And it went perfectly.
And that's when you followed your success of Air that you performed on the show 5 years ago, from what I'm reading here, basically, because it's like you're doing a lot here, and then you also came out with you've also were featured on Grown Up Hip Hop on WeTV here. I mean, it's like this is basically it's like for upcoming generations where you're trying to come out as like an independent artist. So it's like, what other stories can you like briefly tell about that we should know about, basically?
In terms of being an independent artist, it's not easy, guys. It's not easy at all. You definitely have to have, number one, God in your heart, because you have to constantly believe that no matter what, it's gonna work. Like even when it feels like it's not working, you have to believe that. And then you have to have at least a solid 2 to 3 people that truly believe in what you're trying to do. Because on your days when you don't feel like it's gonna work, those are the people that are gonna keep pushing for it. They're gonna keep doing their job. They're gonna keep motivating you to do your job. So being independent is really hard, but as long as you believe in yourself and have some people around you that believe in you, it's definitely possible.
Yes, and speaking of, there was one of the song called NFS. We're not gonna fully explain because I know we want to just omit the cursing of that part of that, because obviously, but you described a turning point in where you felt that you couldn't do music when you were age 16, where you couldn't, you had trouble, you wanted to go to California, if that's correct. So like, tell us more about that on there.
I wanted to go to school. I wanted to go to Stanford in California, but I was too young. I was really, really young, and my parents were like, no. And then there was a point where I wanted to go to Georgia Tech, and they were like, no. Because I was really, really young when I graduated high school, when I was finished with high school. And I feel like if they would have let me go to California, I don't think I would be Vina Love as the artist.
Who would you be if that were the case as you described?
I'd be a lawyer, most likely. I'd be in school for law, preparing to be a judge, and
Wow. sometimes that's not easy because you know, because we've all been through those type of situations here, and then it is what it is. But then you also came out just earlier in May here, where you came out with a new single called "My City" here, where you talk about where it's more than just an understandable argument, but you won't settle for less if a man wants her than her city. So whose city are we referring to? Like, is it basically your city that you're referring to, like, or like New York City? Could you describe more on that?
Personally, for me, it's definitely my city. Like, it's like, this is New York, this is where I'm from. You saying you feeling me? Come to, and then it's like, if you could survive out here and you could make it here and you could satisfy me and make me happy here, then you're doing a good job. Because it's easy to take someone out of town and, you know, fancy them and make them feel really special. So if you could come to my city and make me feel good and make me feel like you're doing something, then that's wonderful. But it also, I wanted to relate to everyone, like whatever city you're in.
Right.
If you like somebody that's not from there, tell them to pull up to your city and show them how, and show you how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, but how easy was it when you doing all these songs at once? Because it's like, it may not be easy because certain people may just not relate to, like with My City, to those type of things of what you're dealing with here.
So that's why we make so much music.
Right.
Because there's going to be one song that relates to 15 people, and then there's another song that relates to only 5. So you never really know. You're just throwing them out there and see who takes what. But just because you're not in it now doesn't mean you won't be in it later.
Right. That's basic. It's plain and simple, and it's basic common sense
Exactly.
here. You know. So going forward, even now, well, as we're in 2022, excuse me, Barbara Walters, I didn't mean to copy off of you. She's still getting on me with the 2020 business. But so what's your overall upcoming projects that you have coming up that you're working on? Because after releasing the new single, My City, what do you have in the works here?
I'm looking forward to releasing my mixtape first, and then I'm going to release an album afterwards. I'm excited because I spent so much time going off of the Vina Love name and like just pushing what was out. And it's like now I'm finally about to have 2 bodies of work out. So I'm really, really excited for that. And even like down to acting and being in movies and commercials and things like that. So I'm really excited to just break out and show everybody what I'm capable of.
Do you have any like ideas of what movies or commercials you want to do, like the types of or the genres?
Honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm very flexible and very versatile. So I could be a murderous wife or I could be a little girl.
Okay, I'm leaving here. You're killing. You're all right. So
we can do anything. I could be a ghost. I could be a bank robber.
All right. Okay.
Don't worry, you're safe, David. You're so safe.
That's enough, Vina. You're scaring me here.
You're so safe, I promise. You're the safest with me.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Just keep it 100 here. This is the spotlight here, okay?
2 times 50, I promise.
But yes, you know, there's just so much going on, and you know, I wish we had more time with you. But I can't believe just the clock goes so quick, you know, and you know, and hopefully next time when you come on the show, we'll hopefully have you perform as well, because you know it would have been great to have you do that here.
Yes.
But you know, but you're welcome here anytime, no matter what here. I think people can catch your single My City and everything else on social media and all platforms. So like what specifically are we talking about platforms?
I actually released 2 singles. I released Options probably like a month right before My City.
Right.
So you can hear both of those on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Google Play, all that good stuff. And you can also catch a video to Options. And I directed and edited, as well as acted in a 3-part prequel to Options on YouTube called Since You Asked. So go check that out. And yeah, the visuals, everything is up. Just Google your girl, y'all. I'm Googleable now, okay? So Google me and you'll see it.
But to elaborate on that, I think they're giving us a couple minutes here. But to elaborate on that, like I'm curious of like what was like your immediate response in doing this, and like what was going through your head when doing all the works that you just mentioned just now with the singles and the drama, the acting that you're doing?
When it came to options, I mean, I had options in my city for such a long time. Like, I made those songs such a long time ago. And, you know, now with social media and everything, rollout and content is so important. And with options, I was like, okay, there's so much I could do. Like, being that I'm telling a real story in the song, I could tell the video was just about looks, like being cute. So I was like, okay, for me to further the storyline and really give people context of what I'm talking about, let me do like a 3-part prequel so they can see who the guys are in the song and it'll all make sense to everybody. And around that time I was feeling like really down and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just stick my head into this. And that's what we did. Like I wrote the script, I got people together, my videographer, and we just made it happen. I think we recorded everything in one day. And we just broke it down into 3 parts. And we were even editing down to like last second before it had to go up. So it was really intense, but I felt so proud afterwards. And looking at it now, it's like, okay, this is everything I want to be all in one place. So.
Well, listen, we're really proud of your work and what you do here. And as I said, you're welcome here anytime. Hopefully
Thank you. This is my 3rd time with you, David.
3rd time?
This is my 3rd time.
Really?
The first time I was on with my old partner. We did a song together, Best of Me. I wore a hat, and it was like my first day of college too. And I had a show here with you, and then that was the second one.
I don't remember the first time. I only remember the first time when you were on the show, 2017.
Oh no, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna remind you.
I don't remember the second time when she was on because
that was the second time. The clip you just showed.
That was the second time?
Yeah.
No, because the first time you were on a different show that wasn't ours because our show started in 2017.
I had do you remember the hat I had on? I feel like you were there. I'll show you though.
Yeah.
We'll look at it together.
Yeah, it was probably a different show. We'll look at it backstage. But
we'll
listen,
look at it.
Our special thanks to Vina Love. You can catch her single My City streaming on all platforms. Yes, she just said it. And we'll be right back, y'all.
For the first time on television, Matt Nation shares his music inspiration that led to his debut EP, Undeniably Dope. He's hitting the stage with the youth co-hosts next.
On Vina, our battles are make-believe and no one gets hurt. At the end of the day, we take off our costumes and we go home. In real life, domestic violence injures and kills. But you can get help and you don't need Zena's superhuman powers. You have a weapon that she doesn't, the telephone. If you or someone you know needs help, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE. Your call will be answered day or night in English or Spanish. Zena would want you to call, so do I.
As a 24-year-old graduate from Stony Brook University College of Engineering, this talented kid has decided to pursue music as his career. His debut EP album, Undeniably Dope, was released late last year and has garnered over 2 million streams on Spotify. Please welcome and give it up for my bro, Matt Nation.
Hey, Miss McGuire.
Well, this is your first air TV interview, isn't it? How's it feel?
It feels good.
Good. Well, anyone can start it off, or via you, or anyone.
Yes. Tell us, Matt, what was your influence and what persuaded you to start music?
My influences, I had to start off with one of my main influences, Kanye. I really appreciate his creativity, what he's able to do with the soundscape.
Yeah.
Bringing sounds together that wouldn't normally work and somehow making them work.
Yeah.
Also have to give shout outs to Young Thug and Gunna.
Yeah.
As for flow and lyricism, they know how to like meld into the beat and they really like brought a lot to that part of the culture. And also had to mention my guy, Kid Cudi, who I'd say like is his own genre, has his own like sound, and that I've definitely been inspired by. You know?
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Yes, you know, and the thing is, you came out with an EP album called Undeniably Dope here, and you describe a self-journey that in that album here. So what is like the self-journey that we're talking about here in that album?
I'd have to say that album and creating that album was its own journey. it was kind of me establishing the groundwork of saying, here I am, this is me. I'm not any other artist, but this is authentically me. And whether it be the song I Don't Need You, which was about me dealing with a breakup, or Soul, which was about me not being able to connect to the people I love because of the pandemic, it was more about me getting myself out there. And when I say undeniably dope, I'm really trying to say, no matter what song it is, there might be something in there that one of my audience members can connect to and say, hey, this is undeniably dope to me. You know?
But in other words, they'll still get uplifted in that way, right?
Yes,
I
exactly.
figure. I see where you're going here, man. I'm keeping my eye on you, okay?
So I would say, like, when did you started music? Like, when did you feel like, okay, I got a passion for music, I'm gonna get into it, I'm gonna do this? Like, when did you really start?
If I had to say, I've been singing and writing for like all my life, but it really got serious like in the summer of 2016. I heard this song in my head, and I really wanted to figure out how I was gonna make this song, producing and everything, because I knew it had a specific sound that I knew nobody else was gonna get where I was coming from. And it took me a year to learn how to like produce that song, and once I finally made it, I was like, we opened the door that we couldn't close, you know?
Yeah, I remember 2016 was a terrible year for us. I'm not flashing back to 2016 at all.
The summer was nice though.
It was an amazing summer.
Yeah.
One to remember.
It's already hot over here, actually, okay? This is 2022 here, all right?
So much time.
Yes, go ahead, Via.
Obviously, during the pandemic, your performance time must have been pretty limited, if at all. And now that things are kind of back open again, I know you have done a couple shows recently. Is there any kind of pinch me moment or really exciting gig that you've performed recently that you were just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is my dream. Like, what's kind of sparks that feeling for you?
Well, if I had to say there was anything that was like a pinch me moment, like, oh wow, we're really doing this. It was a gig I had at the Mercury Lounge, and it was run by Live Nation, and I was like, wow, we're really here. Like, this is a place where big artists, like artists that you know, will be at, and to be in the scope of Live Nation means like, oh, we got some validation now. Like, we're getting it going, you know?
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And what do you have coming up?
Right now, I'm kind of shifting gears from performing more onto working onto some songs I'm trying to drop for the summer.
Awesome.
So getting that
Can't
ready.
wait to hear them.
Yes, and you know, you did a performance. Well, actually, we're going to hear this later on in the show, because one of your songs, Miss McGuire, is called Miss McGuire, where you talk about a story that entails Miss McGuire, about the one that got away with a happy ending, where it remarks on your past relationships. Could you tell us more on that here? Because you mentioned that if you ever got a chance to speak for Miss McGuire, it's like, yeah, what would you really say?
What would I say? I was saying the story behind Miss McGuire, and there's not one particular Miss McGuire, it's more like a combination of different relationships I've had, where you might want to rekindle that relationship and just see where things have gone, because you're in a different state of mind. And I think Miss McGuire is less about a person that I've dealt with and more about a person that we've all dealt with.
You never met Lizzie McGuire, have you?
I did like the show, though. I did like the show.
He's on to something here. He did meet Lizzie McGuire. Oh boy. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the good things about your music, that because I listened to it a lot and it just had me just grooving as well. But another thing, because it's like your music is more has a little bit of Afro-pop and lyricism in there. So like, how would you describe those basically?
Yeah, lyricism is like, I have to combine lyricism and production when I'm like thinking about this, because production is like bringing people into the world, and the lyricism is like telling people the story that's happening in that world. And you want to kind of paint the picture, have people use their imagination and have them relate to whatever you're saying, because it can't be just about you, but about like the you that is listening to the song as well. You know, what Afro beats, it's more of like an energy. Like you have to create this energy with the drums, with the rhythm that people can easily get into and just get them moving, get them dancing, get them grooving in a certain way.
Get out of here, Matt. I want to hear this music. Here, you're trying to get me grooving already here. But listen, I can't wait to hear for this performance. Yes. So, if anything, don't go anywhere because, excuse me, because when we get back, Matt Nation is about to do his thing. Do what you want to do. But I can tell you that we'll be right back. Woo! It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still grooving because we're still getting ready to get it on here for our 4th of July performance show here.
I can tell. So, performing an all-in-one mashup mix of Miss McGuire and soul.
Give it up for our bro,
Matt Nation!
Hey, Miss McGuire, you know you're on fire. You're really taking me higher. I just wanna know you better. Hey, Miss McGuire, you know I'm never a liar. You really got me inspired. I just wanna know you better. I just wanna know you better or never again. I just wanna know you better so we can be friends. We can have a get together or whatever it is. I just wanna know you better so we can be friends. We can be good friends, that could be us. Pour a little more to my cup. Only came out here to show some love. But you act like it's a crime and you do this every time. We can be that diamond in the rough. But anything I do just ain't enough. Tell me why you gotta be so rough. You try ruining my night and you do this every time. Miss McGuire. I say, hey, Miss McGuire. Hey. Gainish on the road, Gainish on the road. I don't know where it can go, hope I'm home by 4. Made a dog move and I hurt you, was the last time cried wolf. My apology for how we ended, girl, but I won't give you back the time it took. Made you miss staying the last sentence, never signed up for that. But consider this my pence, cause I was done for that. And we all did some shit, we can take it for what it is. We stay mad at the kid, and we both here to get lit, Miss McGuire. I would really like to know you better. Hey, we can be good friends, that could be us. Pour a little more to my cup. Only came out here to show some love. But you act like it's a crime and you do this every time. We can be that diamond in the rough. But anything I do just ain't enough. Tell me why you gotta be so rough. You try ruining my night and you do this every time, Miss McGuire. And I say, hey, Miss McGuire. Step demasiado, pero sabe que tengo demasiado. Si quiero con la luna, será oportuno, pero no te quiero compensar. Quiero compensar. Quiero compensar. No keeping up don't take too long, but you know that I got too much. Pride in my hands, but you know what it is. Next time I'ma make it up. I can make it up. I make it up. But could you feel my soul? Send to me on my. Could you feel my soul? Send to me on my. Could you feel my soul? Send to me on my. Cause at the end of the day, it's not. I don't wanna wait too long. Cause you probably thought that I moved on. But I can never forget about you, don't you know? You keep me going, keep me going, keep me strong. Never a promise tomorrow. We on some time that is borrowed. Yes, it's a hard pill to swallow, but I got some things you can follow. No sé por qué yo soy adorado y a veces me siento atado. Quisiera no estar cansado, pero contigo brillamos aliados. Sí, aliados, when I tell you it's all love. We getting too busy, I guess that's my luck. If you scared, I can take you there. You can trust me, you don't gotta act so tough. Cause it's not gonna take too long. And you know that I got too much pride in my hands, but I can make it up, I can make it up. But could you feel my soul? Send to me on my. Could you feel my soul? Send to me on my. Could you feel my soul? Send to me on my. Cause at the end of the day, it's not. Could you feel my soul? I don't wanna wait too long. Cause you probably thought that I moved on. But I can never forget about you, don't you know? You keep me going, keep me going, keep me strong. I'm getting hot.
Guys!
Oh shoot, that's
Listen, I don't know how many years we've done it. It's been a long time since we've done our 4th of July show. So listen, y'all. Thank you, Matt, for our celebrating 4th of July with us. Thank you all for guest co-hosting with us here. Have a great week and a great Independence Day, 4th of July holiday. Good luck, be well, be safe. Keep it 100, keep it real. And you know we want you to take a little time to have fun. Express yourself and enjoy. Come on, y'all, it's the Spotlight!